All right, made it to our pickup in Columbus, Georgia. Got here, got spun around in the back, backed up, and getting ready to go load this thing. That wheel loader over there is our baby right there. I need to run over there real quick, take a couple measurements, see if we need to put that bucket on the back deck sideways, see what we're dealing with. So let's go check it out. Got our trailer dropped. It is right there. That ghost parked over in a corner there. So this is our baby. Volvo L110F wheel loader. Pretty good unit. Man. Said they had forks on it and the bucket was off of it, but this that's fantastic. The bucket's full of mud. I don't see, I guess maybe. That's interesting. Well, let's pull a couple measurements here, see what we got. I thought we would be able to put the bucket on the back deck. What do we got going on here? It sure does look like it's don't see any ports. Thing, I don't know, something ain't right here. So I'm gonna measure across a couple things here. The bucket is 9 foot 9 inches. I need to see how big the unit itself is. So the unit itself looks like it's 8 foot 6. So if I can get this back, if I can get this bucket off of it, then that could be legal. But they said there was a set of forks. I guess maybe that is a set of forks under there. I don't know. I gotta ask a couple questions here. See if we can get this bucket off this thing, set it on the back deck. So be right back. all loaded up. You just saw us putting it on. A little bit tricky. Getting the bucket loose there, you saw that, and then I couldn't get the forks to move over. I was fighting with them. But we got it, it's on there. Bucket's on the back deck. This thing is supposed to weigh 44,000 pounds, that's what they told us. I don't think it does. I think it's lighter than that. My trailer is standing pretty tall right now off the ground, and it doesn't do that when there's 44,000 on it. So I think we're lighter than that. However, that makes me want to take a height measurement, so we're gonna do that. I'll cover securement real quick on this thing. Like I said, it's supposed to weigh 44,000, so here's what I did. I put one chain through the tow hook in the back, through that pintle, all the way across, get full credit for that one. Then I actually did one chain, 2 binders here. I came up to the tie down point, went right to the edge of the trailer, threw that access chain across, did the same thing on the other side, so we get half credit for both of those. So that's 13,000 pounds of securement right there on the back. Then I did the same thing on front. I used one chain, 2 binders, went up to the tie down point right down the same side of the trailer. Didn't bother Xing because I wouldn't have been able to, I wouldn't have had enough chain to do that. So I just used one chain. Half credit for both of those. That's another 6,500 pounds right there. So we had 13,000 on the front, or well, we're back of the unit, front of the trailer. 13,000 there, another 6,500 here. That puts us at 19,500 pounds of securement. And then we put the bucket on the back, and I went ahead and put 2 chains on it, going over the front, catching that lip up there. You probably can't see it because of the sun, but there's a lip up there, and that thing's pulling this way. And the back one, I did the same thing, caught the lip, and it's pulling that way. So I got forward and rearward movement covered, as well as downward pressure. 2 chains back there, full credit for both of those chains. So what we got here is essentially, oh, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chains holding in 44,000 pounds. We are way overkilled on securement, but so we're good there. And like I said, I don't know, my trailer, it probably doesn't look like it on the video, but it's standing pretty tall right now. It's not normally that high off the ground with a load on it. So I'm curious to see. You know what, I should probably release my brakes and see what happens. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna release the trailer brakes and see how far this thing drops down here. And then we'll get a measurement on the height here. Get ready to bounce. All right, well, that actually made it a little bit higher. So, I really don't think it's that heavy. I think we're going to be legal all the way around here, but I am worried a little bit about the height. So we're going to check that real quick. Then we're going to get out of here, and then we're going to go fight with Atlanta traffic, I'm sure. Straight up there, 12'9". We are in good shape. So legal height, legal width. The only question I have right now is if the weight's correct. Now, if they're weight correct and it's 44,000 pounds, what's wrong with this load? You know what's wrong, or what could be wrong? Yeah, yeah, not supposed to have that bucket on the back. Technically, that bucket is a second piece, and if this thing really is 44,000 pounds, which I am seriously doubting, then that bucket technically shouldn't be back there. However, it is part of the unit, and it was on it until I took it off. So, I don't know. Sort of a gray area. We'll see how gray it really is when we get down the road. But dimensions wise, we look good. I'm gonna go out and find the first scale I can get to. Try to put this thing on the scale and see what we get. Stripped our signs and flags off. We don't need those. Lights aren't on the back anymore. Don't need those at all. Take you to the other side here. And then we are going to skedaddle. That's what we look like. Oh, put our turbo saver on. I don't know if you can see that up there. Put our turbo saver on. It's not necessarily the right size, but I think it's gonna, hopefully it'll keep the air from getting in there. So we're gonna we're gonna get on the road, get this thing scaled. Talk to you in a minute. Woo! Good evening, everybody. Wow. All right, so, man, I'm gonna try to do this quick because I think this video is gonna be kind of long. I got a lot of film to put into it, so I'm gonna try to do this really quick. But this is super important to bring up, and it's something that happened to me today that I've never had happen before, never seen happen before, and it was absolutely terrifying on so many levels. So I just want to, I kind of want to preempt this and start by saying that everything turned out okay, and I thank God for watching out. I don't know that I was just talking to my wife, and I told her, I said, I don't know that God was watching out for me necessarily on this situation, but he was definitely watching out for everybody around me. So I just want to thank God for taking care of me today and taking care of everybody else around me. But I want to show you this real quick. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. So hopefully we'll be able to see here. I'm gonna try to grab my light and bring it with me. Make sure we'll be able to see. Let me see if I can find my light here real quick. Oh man, I don't know what I did with it. No, it's not in there. I had it sitting on the seat, I thought. All right, let me find it and I'll be right back. Found it. So, all right, so here we go. I'll take you out. Stopped at the Georgia-South Carolina line tonight. Right on to South Carolina on 85. Getting ready to go in, grab a shower, get something to eat. But I kind of wanted to do this before I go in there. So what happened here is I'm driving along and I hear a loud boom on the back of my trailer, like super loud boom. And I look back in my mirror and there's something sticking off the side of my trailer about 2 feet, and I'm like, man, what in the world could that be? So I get pulled over and get a good look at it, and what happened is this fork set up right here. There was a fork on there. That fork is now laying right here. But when that fork came off, this end of it was laying this way, and it was off the edge of my trailer. Somehow or the other, there is no stops. Try to put this light down so I can point and you can see at the same time here. There are no stops on the ends of this fork setup. There should be a piece of metal here that stops the fork from being able to come all the way out. It is not the case on this thing. These forks slide all the way out. I don't know if that's a cause of the manufacturer doing it that way because they want to be able to switch forks and change things around, or if it's just something's wrong with this thing or what, but I don't know why. But there are no stops, and that fork just slid right off there. Came off the side of the trailer. Didn't go all the way to the ground, obviously, but it was hanging off the side of the trailer, almost ready to come off. And the worst part about this entire situation is where I was at. Whew. It was 4:45 in the afternoon, and I was on 285 going around Atlanta. If that fork weighs so much that I could barely move it with using my own body, with my own strength, I was barely able to move it. It weighs so much. Had it come off the trailer, it would have been absolutely disastrous. Like, absolutely disastrous. One of the most terrifying things that have ever happened to me trucking, when I realized what was going on there and what could have happened had it come off. So, little note to self, you know, I'm dang sure gonna make sure that when I pick another one of these wheel loaders, this is something I never would have thought of. Obviously, I've hauled a ton of wheel loaders in my life. A lot of them have had forks on them. I've never once thought about having to check the forks to see if they could come off. It's never been a consideration, but now it dang sure is. Every time I pick one of these up, if they got forks, you bet I'm gonna be looking, and I suggest you look too. I'm gonna be looking at them forks to make sure that they can't come off there, and if so, then I'll get to put a chain on it or something. That's what I did on the other side. I put a chain around that fork and pulled it in so it can't possibly come off there. But I definitely would, something great for the channel, something you got to think about that I never would have thought about. Obviously I didn't, and it is now part of my routine when I pick wheel loaders up with forks or anything with a fork on it. I'm going to be looking at that. So, all right. Well, that being said, my terrifying experience is going to cause me to have nightmares tonight. I'm going to let y'all go. I'm going to go inside here, grab a shower, get something to eat, try to relax a little bit, try to calm down from this terrifying experience, and I will talk to you all on the next one. Stay tuned. Next episode, you're going to see me deliver that thing right there up in Pennsylvania, and then we'll run over and pick up a truck chassis to go over to Coatesville, Pennsylvania, and go home for the weekend. So, talk to y'all soon. Thanks for tuning in today. If you enjoy what you see, make sure you hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it. And we will talk to you guys on the next one. Stay safe. Don't have forks fall off your trailer. That's the first way to stay safe. Have a good night.